The rumors surrounding Jaxson Dart, Cam Ward, and Shedeur Sanders are heating up following the Senior Bowl and Shrine Bowl, and insiders are projecting. Well, I'll tell you that in a second. First, I want to hear from you. Who do the Giants pick in this class at the quarterback spot? I am pretty confident that one of these young men are going to be New York Football Giants. My question to you is which one? Type CW for Cam Ward, SS for Shedeur Sanders, or JD for Jaxson Dart. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we react to the latest news and rumors that surround this football team coming out of the Senior Bowl and the East vs. West Shrine Bowl. Rumors are coming out the New York Giants are doing a lot of work on Jaxson Dart, and the buzz leaving the Senior Bowl is that Jaxson Dart may have done enough to see himself go in round one, and we are already hearing some people mock him to the New York Giants at number 3. Jordan Schultz, who covers the NFL, tweeting this out, quote, "Few guys help themselves in Mobile more than Ole Miss QB Jaxson Dart, who not only may have elevated himself into a first-round pick, but potentially into the top 10. The 3 things I keep hearing teams compliment Jaxson Dart on are easy deep ball, touch, layering the football, and fluid movement." There's also a growing sentiment that Dart could play early if need be. Lots of time left before the draft, but he continues to ascend. That was today after Dan Orlovsky went to Twitter on January 31st and said Jaxson Dart is going in round 1. Heading into the Senior Bowl, it seemed like Dart had the most to gain from this opportunity, and it matters who you listen to. I've listened to everybody that's been at the Senior Bowl, and some people believe that Dart blew some people away and that his stock is rising, and it is a legitimate conversation of, is he QB2 in this class? Todd McShay on his podcast on YouTube, check it out, said that Jaxson Dart is much closer to QB2 than he is to QB4. And I don't know if that is a unanimous feeling amongst the NFL draft and NFL teams that were there. But, man, this is only going to continue to heat up. What's crazy is Todd McShay said he was actually impressed, and he came away impressed from Jaxson Dart. But Dane Brugler, as I listened to his podcast, speaking with Nate Tice, and how he recapped the Senior Bowl, they both agreed that Jaxson Dart didn't look good. Dane Brugler thought that Tyler Shook, I've heard multiple people say it different ways, the quarterback for Louisville, and Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback for the Oregon Ducks, were the best 2 QBs at the Senior Bowl. So different opinions from different people that were all at the Senior Bowl. And look, it's a week-long worth of practice. It's a build-up every single day. And in the game, you see him playing. We got to see Jaxson Dart play a little bit. Nothing to really take away from that game. There's no doubt about it, though, that Dart is a polarizing prospect. Like the report came earlier from Schultz, said he's ready to play right away. People that I listen to and people that I respect think he's got to sit for a year. Some people don't even have Jaxson Dart in their top 10 quarterbacks. Some people have him high all the way up as number 10 going in this draft. Some people have him as a day 3 pick. He is a polarizing prospect who had 1 rushing TD, 1 fumble, and 1 of 3 in the Senior Bowl for 39 yards. Look, he could take the top off the defense. He's got a good arm. He's a plus rusher. I think he struggles with handling pressure. So often you see his eyes come down at the line of scrimmage when pressure's in his face. I think he has lackluster feet in the pocket. I think his accuracy is just marginal. I think he needs to sit for a year to understand more NFL schemes after being pretty much gifted open receiver after open receiver with the first read at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. Jaxson Dart was actually asked about playing for the New York Giants at the Senior Bowl and said, "I'm not scared of the big city. I love New York. I visited there a lot growing up. I think it's a great opportunity. I'd love to play for them." And I'm sure one Ole Miss alum that did a lot of good things for the New York Football Giants maybe told Jaxson Dart what it's like to go from Ole Miss to play for Big Blue. And that's Eli Manning. And Eli Manning said he is offering up his services to the New York Giants to scout these quarterbacks. And Eli, I love you. I might name my first son Eli Manning. But we don't need that, as we knew you were big fans of Daniel Jones. And I'm not saying because you're a fan of Daniel Jones and you missed there, you're going to miss here. He also says he's a big fan of Jaxson Dart. Said he's watched a lot of tape of him. Obviously, they have the Ole Miss connection. Look, Dart is no scrub. I want to make that super clear. Dart is a good quarterback. I think he's got a high upside. He's got a lot of traits that I like. I think he can throw the ball deep effortlessly. He might have the best deep ball in this class. He throws with good touch. I think he's shown the ability to layer the football. I think he gets locked onto his first read too often. I think he's someone that can improve on being a little bit smarter with his decisions. I think he's a plus runner. I think he's a good athlete. But he's a day 2 pick for me. He's a quarterback that I think could benefit from sitting and watching and learning and listening and understanding how to analyze tape at the NFL level. But he has some traits I'm willing to bet on. I just don't know if I could do it in the top 3. Check that. I know for a fact I cannot do that in the top 3. I do like some things about his game. And maybe he is the mid-round quarterback that pops. He's got swag. He's a gamer. I like that about him. I wonder overall, though, when things aren't great around him and first reads aren't open and pressure is in his face, how good can he be? And to be fair, you can say that about any quarterback in this class. I think I do have Jaxson Dart at QB3. And I think I have Jalen Milroe falling. I know a lot of Giants fans love Jaxson Dart. So let me hear you. If you want Big Blue to draft Dart, it's a great QB last name, to be honest with you. Hit that thumbs up icon. He's a gamer. He can make some throws. Like the video if you want to see him in Big Blue. Coming up next, the latest on Cam Ward and the latest on Shedeur Sanders. And this is juicy. First, though, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, the #1 daily fantasy sports app, and that is PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use our promo code CLNS. Play a $5 lineup and get $50 when you do. You don't even have to win the $5 lineup. It is super easy. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply pick more or you pick less on the projected stat line that PrizePicks has for these players. They always do awesome deals where they are discounting player lines to help you win some actual money, like they're doing for the big game, where they're giving you a free pick of Patrick Mahomes and his passing yards being slashed to half a yard. A freebie. So we're going to take that. We're going to take the more on it. And this is one that I'm going to be happy about if he does not score, but if he does, I at least want to make some money because of it. That's going to be Saquon Barkley getting in the end zone. They've got his stat at half a rush or receiving touchdown. So we'll take the more on that. I'm hoping he doesn't score. I'm hoping the Eagles get blown out. But you can use our promo code CLNS at PrizePicks and get $50 for free when you make your first $5 lineup. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Be a real one. All righty. New information, new rumors coming out. Could Shedeur Sanders actually be going #1 in the NFL draft and be the next quarterback for the Tennessee Titans? Information came out today after Turon Davenport, ESPN insider that covers the Tennessee Titans, wrote an article and said, I spoke with Titans Brian Callahan during Shrine Week and Mike Borgonzi during the Senior Bowl week. Both have experienced previous success choosing quarterbacks. They shared some good points about their search this time around if they decided to take a QB. Then Adam Schefter quote tweeted that and says, Brian Callahan compared Shedeur Sanders and Joe Burrow. This was the piece that Schefter alluded to, saying people had questions about Burrow's arm strength in general coming out. One of the things that makes Joe so unique, and I think you can probably put Shedeur in the same conversation, they anticipate when they throw it. They have the timing and accuracy on top of it. That makes up for the arm strength. As we know, Brian Callahan was with the Cincinnati Bengals when Joe Burrow was there and had the success that he had. This isn't the first person to comp Shedeur Sanders to Joe Burrow. My guy Big Dash on Giants YouTube, one of the best, killing it absolutely. He was one of the first people to do so. And we've heard other people do so as well. And what I've really heard the similarities between the comp is Maybe not the strongest arm, maybe not the best athlete, but elite between the ears, understands football, can read a defense, can process, can get from read to read to read, and get the ball out on time and on target. Makes some sense, right? I do believe the Titans don't know what they're going to do yet. And I think the Titans are just getting started in their draft process. New GM, president of football operations, says they're not passing on a generational talent. That had everyone thinking Travis Hunter. That had everyone thinking Abdul Carter. A lot of people think Cam Ward's going to be the number one guy. Now their head coach is comparing Shedeur Sanders to Joe Burrow. And if Joe Burrow's in this class, he should go number one overall. I will say this. I'm not so sure it's a good thing for Big Blue if Sanders goes number one. Because I do believe that if Cam Ward falls to number two, the Cleveland Browns might take him because it seems like the consensus is Cam Ward is the number one QB in this class. I listened to every episode of the Todd McShay podcast when he was at the Senior Bowl. And he said Cam Ward is consensus number one QB. I listened to Dane Brugler today, and he said Cam Ward is QB1. And then Pete Damel says that the growing belief from scouts and executives at the Senior Bowl is that Cam Ward is likely to be the number one pick in the NFL draft. And if Shedeur goes number one, a team in the Browns that I don't think is willing to draft Shedeur number two, I think they would be willing to draft Cam Ward number two because the consensus is QB1. And if you get a QB1 at number two spot and you need a quarterback, I think you're a little bit more inclined to do so. What I found really interesting about this is because I spend way too much time listening to people talk. I spend way too much time listening to other shows, and I absolutely have no life. Every expert, draft analyst, draft guru, everyone has a different opinion. Like, it is almost for sure that Cam Ward is one, but there's people that have Shedeur at two and then Shedeur at one. There's some people that have Shedeur at one and Cam at two. Some people that have Jaxson Dart at two. It is different. I love it. And even for the people that have Cam Ward one in this class, some of those people wouldn't take him one. They say he's the best of the best. This might be more the Kenny Pickett draft where he goes late in round one. And maybe the second best quarterback shouldn't go until day two. Look, there is still a long way to go in this process. It is February 1st or 2nd or whatever day it is. The NFL season ended about a month ago for the teams that are picking here. And there's coaches who are just starting the film. Todd McShay said an NFL head coach came up to him at the Senior Bowl, team that needs a quarterback, and said, "What do you see on these guys? I'm just getting started on my tape." Their season just ended. They're just starting to do tape study as well. I do believe there is a world where the Giants may have to move up to go get their guy if Cam or Shedeur is the one they're willing to do so for. I mean, look, Titans need a quarterback. Browns need a quarterback. Titans and Browns spoke to Shedeur at the East First West Shrine Bowl. They told him not to practice. They're doing homework on him. Giants are. They both need a quarterback, obviously. But it's one of those teams willing to trade down with the Giants to acquire more picks and pass up on a quarterback. I think you might have to trade up to go get him. I don't know. Still a long way to go. But I definitely think that's a possibility and an avenue that the New York Giants may have to travel down. What do you think? If you're the GM, would you trade up for a QB in round one to move to pick one or move to pick two to get Cam or get Shedeur? Type Y for yes, type M for no. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. My New York Knicks got me sad, but I'm still rocking the gear proud. Let's go, Big Blue.